Welcome to Heek Sunt Draconis. Here be dragons. So, I'm back again with more UAPs, and today we are going to dig into UAPs a bit more and look at some explanations for what we are seeing on a few of the more popular videos. Explanations that don't really require extraterrestrials, though they could be caused by aliens. Now, one of the biggest issues we hit is that most of these aren't using regular cameras. They rely upon thermal cameras, IR, or night vision. In a thermal camera, you are seeing the thermal radiation, not light. You see heat. So the object that you are seeing isn't the real shape of the object, just the heat it's pushing off. A lot of these videos also are using aircraft-mounted pods, meaning they aren't just straight pointed forward. A lot of times they're off to the side. They can rotate. They can move up and down. They can zoom in. They can do all kinds of neat things, and they're computer stabilized, which itself can cause issues. Anyways, let's take a look at the first video called Gimbal.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
So, we see something kind of saucer-shaped. Now, where did flying saucers come from? Well, we have Kenneth Arnold to thank for that, who was an amateur pilot, and while flying, he saw 9 strange flashes of light. What he really saw was NASA's low-density supersonic decelerator being tested, which was a saucer-shaped balloon that would inflate on a spacecraft to act as a brake. While reporting this, Kenneth was talking about how the object moved and stated, like a saucer if you skip it across the water. He never said it looked like a saucer, just that it flew like a saucer skipping across the water, which makes sense when you realize that this was an inflatable, saucer-esque bag of air, inflated at a very high speed. But we all ignored that, and the flying saucer was born. Now, first of all, they say there's a whole fleet of them, and he says it's on the SA. So these aren't visual, they're detecting them through other means, such as radar. Now, it is important to note that the angle of the pod is changing, meaning the thingy is turning to sort of circle around the jets. But the jets are also in a right bank turning around the object. So you have 2 objects basically trying to do circles around each other, which is going to make things look a little weird. And aircraft don't stay flat and level when turning, at least not when things are going how you want them to go. Now, what it looks like to me is a lens flare. It could very well be an object made of a reflective material such as mylar, used in balloons where sunlight is reflecting into the lens, causing a lens flare. Also, this is thermal. We are seeing the heat source, not a visual object. This isn't what it actually looks like. This is just the heat being put out or being reflected off of it. Now, they do state the object is traveling against the wind, and the wind is moving at 160 knots. Well, where the aircraft is, we don't know how far away the object is. It has no ranging data. It could be a balloon in a different air layer, or imagine this. It could be a jet aircraft or a drone with a new stealth coating that reflects radar along with heat and even light into different directions, possibly right into the camera, which would cause the flare effect. This could even just be the south end of a northbound jet aircraft. I'm just saying, it has happened before, like in the video seen on Science Channel in Unexplained Files. I think is where it appears to show a airplane flying into a volcano near Mexico City, where it is in fact an airplane that's very, very far away from the volcano. You know, just a few possible options other than space aliens. Now, here it starts to rotate in a really weird way, yet not really. The camera rotates. It does this to help keep the image stable as the aircraft banks. So, what happens when you have a flare, a camera with electronic stability control, and the camera starts to rotate? Let's see. Weird. Well, someone needs to call the Men in Black, because this guy definitely has a space alien infestation in his garage. Damn. Now, I'm just saying, but we have other explanations than extraterrestrials. You know? Now, the flying pyramid. So, this is video of a pyramid-shaped UAP following a Navy boat. The Navy did announce this was authentic, as in the footage is authentic. Prior to this, there were reports of a swarm of drones following the ship. Then, something appeared overhead. So, a guy grabbed a cheap night vision scope, pointed it up, saw it was triangular, stuck his phone to the eyepiece, and recorded it. There we go. First of all, the object flashes, which is weird. Why would a UFO have flashing lights, which perfectly match the sequence of known aircraft lights? I mean, maybe they're trying to pretend to be just another aircraft. But then we have the triangle. And look at this flagpole. The top is also triangular shaped at times. And even the stars. So, ever hear of a bokeh? A bokeh basically turns light into a shape that is the same shape as the shutter blades. These night vision scopes use 3 blades like this. Oh my. Coinkydink? I think not. Well, that's all I have for this one. But airplane, drone, can't prove it, not enough evidence. Extraterrestrial, same thing, not enough evidence. But we have more evidence that points to it being an aircraft rather than space alien. So we have the Tic Tac, which is just a Tic Tac shaped object zooming across the water at insane speeds, supposedly. This has pilot testimony also and radar reports. However, I'm not going to go into the pilot testimony. I'm going over the scientific evidence. And this actually had multiple pilots that saw things. Yet all of the accounts were different. The human mind is really good at fooling us, and you can see many videos on YouTube that explain this. I am focusing just on the hard evidence, which is the video from the left side surveillance pod of the F-18. So, how high above the water is this? Because it looks like it's floating just above the water, but luckily we have the range, the angle of the object, and the closure rate, which we can then use in conjunction with our wizarding manuals to perform trigonometry, such as the sine of the angle, which actually puts us at about 12,000 feet, not right above the water. And we can then work out its speed, roughly 40 to 100 knots, which is pretty normal for, say, a balloon or a slow drone, which, when combined with a parallax effect, makes it look like it's going crazy fast, like this. Whoa, a sun-shaped yellow UFO? I knew the sun was always a giant spaceship. So another great thing about math is that we can count the pixels and find a size, which is about 6.5 feet, similar to a small weather balloon. Oh my. When we take into account that this is being shot in black hot, which means hotter temps are darker, it shows that this object is cooler than the water. A balloon floating around 10,000 to 12,000 feet in an area with very warm oceans. And yes, the radar picked it up. But what is this? A radar reflector on a balloon that's about 6.5 feet in diameter? Dun dun dun! So there we have it. 3 UAPs with down-to-earth possible explanations. I'm not saying they aren't aliens. I'm not saying they are. Just bringing up alternative, plausible explanations that explain what is happening, which have a better chance of being the actual culprit other than space aliens. Thank you. Have a good day.